Ireland versus Japan. Okay. I tuned into this game to watch my boy, Himano-san. And apparently, he got injured just during the warm-up. Or something like, during the warm-up or something. So, they had to make a last minute change to replace him. And I was very, very disappointed. That aside, Japan played really well for about 60 minutes. And the reserves came on. The Japanese reserves were, did a lot of work there. For Ireland, a lot of their players are overseas right now for the Lions tour. So it was a good opportunity to play legendary players like Billy Burns and give Andy Farrer a bit of a minor heart attack here and there. I'm pretty sure Billy Burns was on the field for about 40 minutes. And I don't even know if he touched the ball. But yeah, he was there. He was definitely on the field for almost half the game. But yeah, he's going to be a legend in the making. You watch him. He's world famous already. And Brian O'Driscoll in the making right here, guys. Mark my words. Anyway, the game was really good at the start. Japan looked absolutely spectacular. Not Takamura, what's his name? Tamura was like an absolute magician on the field, was just setting up a lot of tries, nice chip kicks over the top, really pinpoint accurate crossfield kicks, and yeah, it was just beautiful to watch for Japan. And then last 20 minutes, Japan really fell off. They let themselves down a little bit. The reserves was just not good, and Ireland managed to run away with the game. It was really tight. Yeah. Anyway, let's go from the start. So Japan, right away, was putting Ireland under a fair bit of pressure. Ireland gave away a penalty right away. Japan kicked the ball out, went for a line out. And James Ryan, who many argue should have been the replacement for Alan Wynne-Jones for the Lions tour, is the captain of Ireland. Yeah, so he didn't make the Lions team after Alan Wynne-Jones got injured. He gets to step in here as the captain for the Irish. I don't know. Maybe Andy Farrer is sending messages to Warren Gatlin. Anyway, he plays the play in the end. Okay, he like the liner goes out. He like disrupts the receiver from the Japanese team. Full on penalty. Japan goes, all right, this is a test match. We'll take the 3. Japan kicks 3 points from the line out, and Ireland was under the back foot right away. 3 minutes in, Japan 3 points on the ball. And also, at the start, the Japanese defense was really good. So Ireland at the start of the game had this period where they were just running with the ball. And Japan's like rush defense was really in their face and really out front, just taking away a lot of the space and opportunity that Ireland was trying to take. So Ireland was literally going backwards. Ireland started inside the Japanese half, like just around the 40-meter line. And they ended up 10 meters inside their own half. 20 meters, they lost 20 meters after like 10 phases or something. It was really impressive defense from Japan at the start of the game. And eventually, the Irish were able to get themselves in the front foot again. Japan gave away a penalty. Ireland kicked it out for a line out, and they're starting to just run in the ball. Getting over the advantage line, they do a bit of a big quick crash ball, and the Irish really good with the crash ball, and the Japanese defense with that quick ball off the breakdown, they weren't able to hold on. And 7 minutes in, just a few minutes later after this line out, I think it might be just 2 crash balls later, Farrell, number 13, goes in for his first try, and yeah, the Ireland goes in, gets their first points on the ball. I think, and then Carberry gets the conversion. Is that his name? Carberry. Yeah, Carberry gets his conversion. Ireland gets in front 7 points to 3. And a few minutes later, Japan gets back on the offense. Japan look like they're really good at running. Obviously, the coach is a New Zealand coach. So Japan was really happy to run the ball just from anywhere on the field. Whilst the Irish was more interested in kicking for field positions, and trying to set themselves up in a good spot to play the game. Whereas Japan was just happy to run the ball anywhere they get the ball. There was a penalty from the kickoff from Ireland, and so there was penalty. So it was really stupid penalty as well. The kickoff after this try was scored. So Irish players lift their own player up to receive the ball. I think James Ryan was lifted up to receive the ball. He missed the ball. He didn't even get the ball. The ball overshoots him. James Ryan gets dropped down. The Japanese players runs into the lifters that was lifting James Ryan, and the referee ruled obstruction. So Japan goes, all right, we're gonna go for a try. Instead of that was kick with 3 points, but Japan opted to go for a line out. They went for a line out, and this was just like a perfectly set up line out. They set it up for a maul, and just a nice drive on the maul. I think Lynch got the ball at the back. He kind of like got the ball, and he kind of like squeezed himself at the back. The maul wasn't perfectly set up. It was kind of like messy, but still, Japan was going forward. Like they pushed the Irish over, goes down for the first try for Japan. Tamura gets the conversion. Japan 10 points lead to 7. 11 minutes in. And then the game kind of like settled a little bit for about 15 minutes. There was a lot of back and forward. A few minutes later, what's his name? Lafalele, I think his name is, was denied a try. So there was a really, really nice period where Japan was just building faces. Around, I think there was about 10 plus faces. And finally, Japan was just piling pressure and getting really, really close to the Irish line. And Tamura gets the ball, right? And this was like center field about 5 minutes out. Just slips a really nice inside ball. It was just like really beautiful angle coming in from Lafalele. And he just crashes into through the middle of the Irish defense, goes under the post for a try. And then the referee had a look. It declined. The pass from Tamura to Lafalele was forward. I thought it was pretty flat. Like Tamura kind of like took a step back as he passed it, so you looked like he was going forward. But yeah, I thought it was flat. But the referee goes, I'm biased, because I'm Asian, have to support the other Asians. Obviously, duh. And then the referee goes, all right, no, that's forward, no try. So that was really, really disappointing. But that was an absolute beautiful, beautiful line. And it was, sadly that was denied. And then after that denied try, Ireland strike back with their own try, and they actually get their own try in return. So there was a midfield play, and there was a nice chip over by one of the Irish players. Like I was saying, they really like kicking, but this chip over was actually quite nice. The player that chipped it, I think was number 11. He chipped it and he regarded the ball himself. So got the Irish team in the front foot, and then they just spread the ball wide to the side. So there was just like a bit of overlap on the open side, and there was still like 40 meters out. Just nice little offloads between the players, and eventually McCloskey gets the ball, goes over into the corner for a try for Ireland. Ireland hits back 25 minutes in. The conversion was missed, so Ireland was only up by 2 points, 12 points to 10. And then at the 35th minute, at the 30-minute mark, Japan had another penalty where Tamura missed. So that was something that maybe hurt them a little bit. But then on the 35th minute, Japan Tamura made that up with a beautiful setup for a try for Japan. There was a nice, beautiful crossfield kick, pinpoint accurate, around just inside the Irish half. So Fafita catches the ball on the fly, right? He runs down, and then he sets himself. As he's getting tackled, he sets up Lafalele with an offload, and Lafalele goes in to steps infield, goes in for a try. It was just really, really pinpoint accurate, and this was really just like a really perfect setup from the Japan, and that crossfield kick from Tamura was just absolutely perfect. And this was not the only perfect kick he did this game. We shall see a little bit later. And then from this point onwards, Japan takes back the lead. They get the conversion, 5-point lead, 17 points to 12. And as the game is approaching halftime, you're thinking, okay, Japan just kind of like going to halftime with the lead is quite nice. So just kind of like close out the half would be really nice. However, Japan, like I was mentioned before, really look like they don't care where the ball is. They're happy to run the ball. So before this, there was a few times where Japan had like penalties or like short on penalties with the scrums where they just took quick taps and ran the ball from their own half. It worked a couple times, but eventually this came to hurt them. So as the clock is ticking over, getting close to about a minute left to the end, Japan once again decides to run the ball out of their own half. They look like they're going forward. They got to about the 22-meter line in their own half. And Natsushima gets the ball. He saw like space out wide, and he tried to throw a cutout pass to the winger. Keep in mind, this is still inside their own 22. And he overthrows the ball, it goes out. So Ireland, with about less than a minute left in the clock, in the first half, had an opportunity, a 22-meter line out for the Irish team. And sure enough, Ireland gets the line out in, just piling on pressure, and Japan was scrambling in defense. And just a quick ball from Ireland from the breakdown was just really putting Japan under a lot of pressure. There was nothing fancy from the Irish attack, just picking drives or like one-off crash balls, and just the quick ball like putting the Japan on the back foot, just leading to like repeated penalties given away. And then the referee's like penalty. Eventually Ireland goes over, and then the referee goes held up, but go back to the penalty offside. Ireland takes a quick tap, and they just another face letter, quick crash ball, and then Ireland goes over at the 41st minute in the first half with Belham. Is it Belham? Is that say? Belham goes over for his for the third try for the Ireland just before halftime. Ireland, Carberry gets the conversion, so Ireland goes in the half with a 2-point lead, 19 points to 17. Really, like, Japan made a poor decision there. They should have just closed out the game and taken the lead and finished it off in the first half instead of just like kick the territory there, kick for territory and just try to close out the first half instead of trying to run the ball out in their own 22, leading to a silly mistake like this happening. Anyway, second half starts. About 2 minutes to the second half, the Irish number 13 goes in for a tackle. Number 12 actually goes in for a tackle, and he smacks his head onto one of the Japanese players' knee, and he gets himself knocked out. Was it number 12 or number 13? I think it was number 13 actually. Anyway, one of the Irish centers gets himself knocked out, and it looked kind of bad, and the referee instantly stopped the game. He gets up, looks really woozy. They take him off for HIA, and the man of the future, the greatest Irish player currently alive, Billy Burns, is on the field at 42 minutes. Okay, so Burns get on, and he's playing at center, and I think he's supposed to play 10, but because of this HIA, he's like a center. I don't even know if he. Anyway, I didn't. Anyway, he gets on. He did like virtually nothing this game, I think. But anyway, Billy Burns. I was expecting something good, but I think we'll have to wait for him to do amazing stuff, I guess, next game. Anyway, the HIA. So anyway, Billy Burns gets on the field, and right after that, Japan gets the first try. Okay, so there was a so Japan was just building pressure, attacking the Irish line, and there was like they were about just inside the Irish half, about 35 meters out from the try line. There was a breakdown. Tamura goes in the breakdown, looking like he's gonna be the number 9. He looks up and he sees that the blind side, there was no one guarding the blind side. There was a really small, like 2 yards to on the sideline, but no one was guarding it where the breakdown was. He picks up the ball, runs down that little channel, and he goes through. Okay, and then as he's running through, the fullback comes out to try to tackle him. He did a nice little kick inside in field, just a nice little chip in field, and then number 11, Fafita gets the ball, gets the bounce. It was just like perfectly timed kick, gets the bounce, runs in for Japan's first try in the second half. That was just, again, Tamura doing his magic there. Just great vision to see that tiny little gap on the blind side, takes the space, and then great vision once again, and pinpoint accurate infield kick for Fita to get the ball, goes in for the try. Absolutely, spectacular to see. That was pretty good. However, the Ireland just gets themselves back on the game. A few minutes later, Irish gets their fourth try. There was once again, there was a lot of just Ireland piling pressure onto the Japan, and it was just quick balls on the breakdown, and Japan was just really like struggling to defend this quick ball from the breakdown. Just going backwards, there was a lot of pick and go. There was a lot of just one-off balls. They got really close, and eventually Van goes over, just a pick and go, crashes him over for a try. Just like, yeah. Like, this is where, like, the Japanese, I'm not sure if it's exhaustion. I'm not sure if it's just because the reserves are on. Japan pretty much put on all their reserves in the second half around this period. The Japanese defense was just not fronting up around this. Just stop fronting up, not fronting up. They stopped fronting up to defend the Irish. Yeah, just really another try for Ireland, just running Japan over essentially at this point. And Van der Veer goes over for the try, I think. Yeah, Van der Veer goes over for the try. So, Van der Veer, is that what you're saying? Yeah, Van der Veer goes over for the try. So basically, yeah, it was just quick ball, and Van der Veer just crashed over for a try. It was, I don't know. Japan just really, like, probably the rustiness is starting to show at this point. And then a few minutes later, Ireland goes over for their fifth try, and they really started to open up the gap a little bit, as some commentators were mentioning. Stockdale gets over for the fifth try for which one is it? Where am I? For Ireland. Yeah, so there was a shot before this. There was a shot of Johnny Sexton sitting in the crowd. Not in the crowd. It was about 3,000 something odd people at the in Lansdowne Road. Sexton had a cap on and a mask on. You can't even tell who he is. Looking at his phone. Not even interested in the game. What are you doing, Johnny Sexton? Everybody knows you're there. You know, give us a wave, take the mask off, stand up and just, parade the crowd a little bit. What are you doing looking at your phone in the middle of a rugby match your team is playing? How disrespectful. Phone should be off, Sexton. Anyway, at around the 50th minute, there was so basically Natsushima, there was a really weird kind of situation. The Irish player, there was a high ball. Natsushima goes in to kind of like challenge the ball. He didn't get the height to get the ball, so he kind of like tackles the player in the air. And as he's tackling the player in the air, it didn't really look like a tackle. You look more like he just grabbed him in the air and they both kind of fell down. But yeah, it's technically a tackle. And he fell down awkwardly, like his foot just like folded like backwards. One of his foot, like one of his legs just like folded backwards. It looked really painful. Hopefully he's okay. Natsushima gets like, and he's just like screaming on the ground. He gets up and the referee's like, yeah, sorry, that's a penalty. You're taking out the player in the air. Ireland took this opportunity to go for a line-out from the penalty. They set up a more from the line-out. And then again, quick crash balls. Two quick crash balls. The Irish got really close to the line already, right in center field. There was just space out wide. The number 9 from the Irish team looks up and sees Stockdale out wide on the wing. Just throw a big cutout pass to the wing. He gets the ball, struts over, puts the ball down. 5th try for Ireland. And that's really poor again for Japan, just for their defense not fronting up. And a few minutes later, Japan strikes back themselves with a bit of magic. So Ireland, once again, stuck to their kicking game. They did a kick kind of down the field, and it kind of just like, it wasn't really a bad kick, but it was just like a kind of like aimless kick from halfway to just downfield towards the sideline. One of the Japanese number 14 gets the ball, and he just went, all right, just like this is clearly Japan's game plan. They happen to run it anywhere. He gets the ball. He mounts a counterattack. There was about 4 people on the blind side as he was running up the sideline, and there was like 2 Irish defenders. So this kick was really poor that there was overwhelming number of Japanese players on this side of the field than the Irish defenders. So number 14 gets up. He runs up. As he's getting tackled, he offloads the ball to number 11. Number 11 runs up a bit, and he offloads the ball to number 10. Number 10, Tamura. Tamura runs a bit more and offloads back in field to Saito, number 9, and he runs in. Just pretty much 70 meters, just easy as that, goes in for try. It was just overwhelming numbers on the blind side for Japan. After this kind of like pointless kick, the commentators called it was pointless kick, but that was pretty much the game plan for Ireland, so I don't really blame them for that. But yeah, that was a really easy try for Japan, and it looked pretty good. And right away, Japan was back in the game, back in the chase. At this point, Japan was 4 tries, and Ireland was 5 tries, just a little bit behind Japan. I think the score was, like 31 points to 33, so only 2 points behind Ireland. Behind Ireland's Japan was. With about 20 minutes left, 25, 25, 20, just over 20 minutes left, right? And from there going forward, it got really, really rough for Japan, okay? The penalty count for Japan just really starting to fall apart. There was just penalties everywhere on the breakdown. I think Japan maybe try to slow down maybe it's an attempt for Japan to slow down the quick balls, but they're just doing it illegally, and there was just mounting penalties everywhere. 61st minute, there was penalty that was in kickable range. Ireland goes, all right, this is a test match. We wanted to close off the game and win it. Carberry takes the 3, and then a few minutes later, 68th minute, once again, another penalty in the breakdown for Japan. Another kickable range. Carberry takes that kick as well. 68th minute, so suddenly Ireland's back up 39 points to 31 with 10 minutes left. Now, in the last 10 minutes, Japan was just really looked flat. The lineouts was going not straight. They lost their own lineout. There was more breakdown errors where they're like attacking and they just like no one was cleaning out in their own attack and just get the ball turned over. Or penalized for holding their own player holding on, because no one was like even at the breakdown at all. Nobody was there to clean out. There was one point. One of the commentators was like, "This will be Christmas in July for Ireland if they beat Japan." I thought that was pretty funny, but yeah, there was the commentators really try to talk up this game as a massive win for Ireland, like a massive opportunity for Ireland, and a massive thing for Andy Farrell, with all the missing players, all the criticism is received from the Six Nations. But yeah, Japan last 20 minutes was pretty ordinary, and eventually, right at the last minute, Japan had a penalty. It looked like this could still potentially go for something. On the 80th minute, and they kicked the ball. The ball did not go out. Ireland gets the ball, puts the ball out, full time, game over, and yeah, Japan was in the game for about 60 minutes, and then the rustiness starting to show, the bench players starting to come on, and yeah, there's still quite a bit of room for improvement for Japan, but good effort regardless. Lansdowne Rd, 39 points to 31 against I guess not full strength Irish team, but still good effort for Japan. And but yeah, in my books, I thought Japan should have won that. I did think that they had the skill, they had the talent, and it was just silly mistakes and probably a result from a lack of experience and a lack of game time. And it really showed in the last 20 minutes or so. Yeah. And yeah, that's the end of the game. Probably the most entertaining game for the weekend. And yeah, this was pretty competitive, pretty back and forward, pretty close. And yeah, pretty happy. Lansdowne Road. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this. I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow for Lions versus Lions.